Do you know you need to prepare these 12 items before May 1st, 2026? Not because the world will run out, but because when you need them, you will no longer be able to buy them. Everything does not collapse all at once. It changes little by little. Prices start to rise. Goods become scarce. Power becomes unstable. And then one day, you realize you have to act at the same time as everyone else. And that is the real problem. Not that there is none, but that you can no longer access it when you need it most. People do not panic because there is nothing. They panic because they are too late to prepare. You may think fuel is important. Electricity is important. But at a certain point, there is something that makes people panic faster than anything else. And when that happens, you will not have time to prepare. Not everything is expensive, but most of the items on this list are things you only think about when it is already too late to buy. There is one item at number 7. You do not think about it until you realize it is essential. 12. Fuel. The first thing that causes society to become tense is not food, but fuel. In the United States, if your gas tank runs empty, you are not just stopping your car, you are stopping your life. You cannot go to work, cannot take care of your family, cannot handle basic daily tasks. That is why whenever there is any sign of instability, people do not go to buy food first. They drive to the gas station first. And right now, the average gas price is around $4 per gallon, meaning filling up a tank can cost $60 to $70, even higher in many states. But the real issue is not the price. It is how people react. Everything does not collapse at once. It escalates very quickly. On the first day, gas stations are only slightly busier than usual. On the second day, lines start to grow longer. Some people bring cans to store fuel. The atmosphere becomes tense. By the third day, some stations put up out of gas signs, and that is when panic begins to spread. What you need to understand is that fuel does not disappear. The system gets clogged because too many people act at the same time. You do not run out of fuel because the world lacks fuel. You run out because you waited like everyone else. This is the real risk. Not shortage, but losing access when you need it most. At that point, something as simple as getting fuel becomes stressful. You have to wait in line, lose time, deal with tension, and may still not meet your needs. Preparing early is not about stockpiling. Preparing early is about not being forced into the worst moment. It is simple. The goal is just to keep your life from being disrupted. You can still go to work, take care of your family, handle important tasks. The value is not how much fuel you have, but that you are not pulled into the chaos when it starts. While others are waiting in line, you are still moving. While others panic, you remain normal. The method is simple but requires discipline. Always keep your tank above half. Do not wait until it is nearly empty to refill. Do not delay. Because when you think you still have time, millions of others are likely thinking the same. And when everyone acts at once, everything jams immediately. It only takes one time you cannot get fuel to understand. The problem is not in the news, but in your life. You are not stuck because fuel is gone. You are stuck because you waited like everyone else. If tomorrow you cannot get fuel, how long can you still move? 11. Backup power source. A power outage does not kill you immediately, but it takes away your ability to control the situation very quickly. Within a few hours, you lose lighting, lose internet connection. Your phone starts running out of battery, and you no longer have a way to get updates or communicate. In the United States, most daily life depends on electricity, from communication and work to basic activities at home. When the power goes out, the problem is not inconvenience. It is that you are no longer in control. Power outages usually do not happen once and end. They can last or repeat. A few hours without power in the evening may not seem serious, but if it extends into the next day or happens on a large scale, you will start facing problems. At that point, stores do not operate normally, networks become weak or completely unavailable, and you cannot buy backup devices when you need them because demand spikes suddenly. That is why preparation must happen before, not after the event. The purpose of a backup power source is not to run the entire house, but to keep essential things working. You need to keep your phone powered to communicate, maintain internet access to stay informed, and have light for basic living. Just these three elements are enough to maintain a minimum level of stability while the outside situation may be disrupted. The practical solution is simple. You can use power banks, portable power stations, or small energy storage devices. No need for large investment, but you must have at least one option ready. More important is how you use it. Always prioritize your phone first, then internet and lighting. Do not use it for high-consumption devices because it will drain quickly. At the same time, devices must always be fully charged, otherwise they will be useless when needed. A common mistake is that many people buy devices but do not prepare properly, leaving batteries empty or using them incorrectly. Some try to maintain their entire normal routine, which drains power quickly and removes their only option. The correct approach is to clearly set priorities and use it only for essential needs. Just one night without power is enough to see the difference. Without preparation, you lose communication, lose information, and your daily life is disrupted. With preparation, you stay connected, have light, and maintain stability. A backup power source does not make life better, but it keeps you from losing control when everything around you starts to break down. If the power goes out tonight, how long can you keep your phone and lights running? 10. Toilet paper. Toilet paper is something you almost never think about preparing in advance. It is always available, always on the shelf, and always something you can buy anytime. That familiarity is exactly why most people overlook it, until it disappears. It does not take a major crisis for that to happen. Just a wave of concern spreading, people start buying more than usual. Each person takes a little, but together it becomes a very large surge. And the retail system is not designed to handle sudden spikes like that. The result is empty shelves faster than you expect. What is important to notice is that the actual supply still exists. Factories are still producing, products still exist. But the speed of restocking cannot keep up with the speed of buying. And in that gap, those who arrive later have almost no options left. The reason to buy early is not about the product itself, but about how it disappears. This is a high turnover essential item, so when disruption happens, it is always among the first to be cleared out. Not because it is rare, but because too many people need it at the same time. Unlike many other things, lacking toilet paper is not immediately dangerous, but it directly affects comfort and hygiene. One day may not feel significant, but after several days, the inconvenience builds up and starts affecting mood, daily routine, and the sense of normalcy at home. The moment you start thinking maybe I should buy more is usually when many others are thinking the same. And at that point, you are no longer ahead. You are entering at the busiest time. The preparation is simple. Buy before you actually need it. No need to stockpile excessively, just enough so you do not have to follow the crowd. A small decision, but it helps you avoid a very uncomfortable situation. Many people never notice this item until they cannot find it. And when that happens, the problem is not that the product disappeared. It is that you arrived too late. You are not confused because there is no toilet paper. You are confused because you realized it when there was nowhere left to buy it. 9. Medicine and first aid. Most everyday health issues do not start as something serious. They are usually very small things. A headache, a mild fever, a small cut while cooking, an allergy, or a minor scrape. On a normal day, you do not worry because there is always a way to handle it right away. Go to the pharmacy, buy a few items, done. But when the system is disrupted, stores are crowded, or you cannot go out immediately, those small issues start to become uncomfortable. Not because they are more serious at the beginning, but because you cannot deal with them at the right time. A fever, if treated promptly, is just one uncomfortable evening. But without medicine ready, it can last longer and create stress for the whole household. A small cut, if cleaned and bandaged quickly, heals fast. But if handled late, it can become more complicated. The difference is in response time. You handle it immediately, or you have to wait. That is why medicine and first aid should be prepared in advance. Not to deal with major emergencies, but to handle small, everyday issues before they turn into bigger problems. You do not need much, but you need the right things. Pain relievers, fever reducers, allergy medication, along with bandages and antiseptic. When you have them ready, you do not have to search, do not have to wait, do not depend on whether things are still available outside. You handle it within the first few minutes, and often, those few minutes determine whether the situation escalates or not. The preparation is simple. Choose what you are familiar with, suitable for your household, check expiration dates, and keep them in an easy-to-access place. No need to complicate it. Just be ready. When you need something very small, and you do not have it, you will understand it is no longer small. If someone in your home has a fever tonight, do you have everything to handle it immediately? 8. Cooking stove having food, but not being able to cook it makes it almost useless. In normal life, you do not notice this because everything is always ready. Just turn on the stove and you can cook. But when the power goes out, you do not just lose light, you also lose the ability to cook. And that is when you realize, having food is not enough. You need a way to turn it into a meal. The problem is not how much food you have stored. The problem is whether you can use it. Many foods need to be cooked or heated to be eaten safely. Without a stove, you may stand in front of food, but have no way to use it properly. You are not lacking food. You are lacking the ability to use it. That is why you need a simple cooking solution that does not depend on electricity. A portable gas stove and a few backup fuel canisters are enough for basic needs. No need for anything complex. No need for a large system. Just enough to cook simple meals each day. A stove is not rare. But during widespread outages, it is one of the first things to sell out. The goal is clear. Maintain the ability to cook during disruptions. You can still boil water, cook noodles, reheat food, or prepare simple meals. This not only helps you eat properly, but also keeps a sense of normal daily life during unstable situations. The real value is not the stove itself, but that you remain in control. While others have to rely on ready-to-eat food or struggle to manage, you can still prepare a proper meal. The difference is not what you have, but whether you can use it. Preparation is simple. One portable gas stove, enough fuel canisters for a few days, and knowing how to use it safely. Not a lot, but enough. The common mistake is thinking that having food is enough until you actually need to cook. and have no way to do it. It only takes one time standing in front of food and not being able to cook to understand how big that inconvenience is. You do not lack food. You lack the ability to turn it into a meal if the power goes out. Can you cook your next meal? 7. Water filtration. Having water has never meant having safe water. In normal conditions, you turn on the tap and use it because you trust the system is working properly. But when something goes wrong, that trust is the first thing to break. Pipes can be old. Water sources can be affected by the environment or disrupted treatment. And the most uncomfortable part is that you do not notice it immediately. The water still looks clear, no obvious smell, but you are no longer sure if it is safe. You only start thinking about filtration when doubt appears. And by then, others may have already prepared before you. The difficulty is that you do not know what to do. You hold a glass of water, look at it, but have no way to be certain. You have water, but you do not dare to use it. That feeling creates real pressure, because you have to decide in uncertainty. That is why a water filter becomes important. It gives you a clear step before using it. You do not need to guess. Do not need to wait for announcements. Do not rely entirely on the system. You take control to make your water safer. The goal is simple. Whatever water source you have, you can still use it after treatment. This is especially important when the situation lasts and you are no longer sure what is safe. The way to use it is clear. When there is doubt, filter before drinking or cooking. Do not rely on appearance, because many risks cannot be seen when you hold a glass of water and do not know if you should drink it. You will understand. The problem is not lack of water. It is that you are no longer sure it is safe if water is still running, but you are not sure it is clean. Would you drink it? 6. Lighter or matches. You never think you will lack fire until you cannot create it. It sounds small, almost not worth thinking about. But without it, everything stops immediately. You have a stove, you have gas, you have food, but without fire, you cannot begin. This is the kind of simple oversight that happens exactly when you need it most. And that is when you realize a small detail can interrupt your entire plan. The problem is not the value of the item, but its role. A lighter or a box of matches costs almost nothing, but it determines whether you can cook or not. When everything is normal, you do not notice. But when you need it, the difference becomes clear. Just one simple situation will show you. You have a portable gas stove, a full fuel canister, food ready. But you have no way to create fire. You stand there with everything, but cannot do anything. Not because of a big shortage, but because of something very small. That is why you must always prepare and have backups. Not just one, but at least 2 or 3 in different places. One in the kitchen, one in your emergency bag, one stored separately. It does not cost much, does not take space, but removes a very real risk. The goal is clear. Make sure you always have a way to create fire when needed. No dependence on luck, no last-minute searching. When you have it ready, you do not have to stop because of a small detail. The real value is not the lighter itself, but that you avoid being stuck. While others struggle to find a solution, you continue what you are doing. The difference is not that you have more, but that you are not missing something at the critical moment. The preparation is simple. Always have it available and check it regularly. Make sure it works. Do not let it run out of fuel or get wet. The common mistake is thinking this is always available until you need it and cannot find it. You do not get stuck because of something big. You get stuck because of something very small that you assumed would always be there. 5. Can opener you can prepare many things, but without a way to use them, everything becomes meaningless. This is one of the most common mistakes, and also one of the most foolish mistakes many people make. People buy a lot of canned food, thinking they are fully prepared, but when the time comes, they cannot open it. Imagine a very simple situation. You have stored food ready, everything prepared. You take out a can of food, put it on the table, and then realize you do not have a can opener. You try to manage, look for other ways, but it does not work. You have food in front of you, but cannot use it. Not because you lack food, but because you lack access to it. That is why you need to prepare from the beginning. Not because a can opener is valuable, but because it is the final link. Without this link, all your previous preparation becomes almost useless. You do not lack food, but you cannot turn it into something usable. The goal is clear. Make sure you always have a way to use what you have prepared. Its value is not in the small tool itself, but in avoiding the situation of having something but not being able to use it. While others struggle to open their food, you can already use yours. The simplest preparation is to always have at least one manual can opener. Do not depend on electricity. Do not depend on other devices. And even better, have backups in different places, because this is an item that is very easy to misplace. The common mistake is that many people assume this is always available in the house, so they never check. But when needed, they realize they do not know where it is or it no longer works. And at that point, you not only lose time, but also lose the advantage of being prepared. You are not stuck because you lack food. You are stuck because you are missing the final step. And in many cases, that small step determines whether you can actually use what you have. You have food, but are you sure you can open it? 4. Batteries and power banks. Power banks are one of the items that spike in price and sell out fastest during widespread outages or disasters. You do not lose your phone. You lose control when it shuts off. In modern life, your phone is not just for calls. It is your map when you need directions, your way to pay, your source of information, and your connection to family. Everything is in it. And once the battery is gone, everything disappears at the same time. Think of a familiar situation. The power goes out, but you still have your phone, so things feel fine. You check the news, send messages, make a few calls, but time passes and the battery starts dropping. 40%, then 20%. You begin to limit usage. It drops to 10%, and then the screen goes dark. At that moment, you can no longer communicate, do not know what is happening, cannot look up information, cannot make payments, and if you need to move, you have no guidance. A dead phone is not just an inconvenience, it is the moment you are cut off from everything important. The issue is not the device, but whether you are still connected. Someone with battery can still manage the situation. Someone at 0% is completely passive. The difference is small, but the consequences are large. That is why you need batteries and power banks. Nothing complicated. Just a device that can charge your phone 2 to 3 times is enough for a day or more. As long as your phone has power, you stay connected, stay informed, and can make decisions. Preparation is simple but requires discipline. Always keep your power bank fully charged. Carry it when you go out, and have at least one at home. When using it, prioritize communication and information. Avoid unnecessary usage. A common mistake is having a power bank, but not charging it or draining it without noticing. Many people rely only on their phone battery until it dies and they have no options left. It only takes one time your phone dies when you need it to understand the difference. You do not panic because of low battery. You panic when it shuts off, and you realize you are no longer connected to the world. How much battery does your phone have right now? And if it shuts off, can you manage? 3. Salt and basic seasonings. You do not realize the role of seasoning until meals become hard to swallow on the first day. Everything is still fine. You have food, you cook normally, you can eat. Nothing seems wrong. On the second day, you start noticing the food tastes a bit bland. You think it is fine, just missing a little seasoning. But by the third day, you eat just to feel full. No enjoyment, no interest in meals anymore, and then you realize you are not lacking food. You are lacking the feeling of normal eating. This is not something that causes immediate problems, but it builds up. Each meal becomes slightly worse. Each day feels a bit more uncomfortable. And after a few days, your mental state is clearly affected. You still live, still eat, but no longer feel stable like before. Salt and basic seasonings are not what people prioritize when preparing. They are not urgent like water or electricity, but they are what keep daily life from declining. A meal may be nutritious, but if it is not comfortable to eat, it directly affects your mood and energy. A simple situation. You have rice, canned food, you can cook, but no salt. The first time you eat, it is fine. But by the second, third time, you start getting tired of it. Not because you are picky, but because your body and mind need more than that. That is when many people realize preparing food is not enough. You also need to prepare how to keep eating it over time. Seasonings, especially salt, also help maintain balance in the body, and in some cases can support food preservation. It is cheap, small, easy to buy, and that is exactly why it is most often overlooked when disruption happens. This is also one of the categories that disappears quickly. Not because it is rare, but because everyone realizes its importance at the same time. Preparation is simple. A small amount of basic seasonings, enough for a few days. Not much, but necessary. That alone helps maintain meal quality and a more stable mindset when you sit in front of a full meal, but do not want to eat. You will understand the problem is not the food, it is something very small that you overlooked. 2. Replaceable batteries, AAAAA. You do not realize how much you depend on batteries until everything stops working at the same time. It is not a power outage, not a broken device. It is something simpler. The batteries are dead. Look around your home. Flashlights, remotes, clocks, radios, small medical devices, even some emergency tools, all depend on batteries. In normal conditions, you do not notice because you can replace them anytime. But in a disruption, it is no longer that simple. The problem with batteries is not their value. They are cheap, small, and easy to buy. But because of that, most people never prepare in advance. They only think about them when devices stop working. And when that happens at a critical moment, you do not just lose a device, you lose its function. What is important to understand is that batteries are always among the first things to sell out. Not because production stops, but because demand spikes from many directions at once. When power becomes unstable, when people start using flashlights, radios, backup devices, battery demand rises immediately. And by the time you need them, others may have already bought them before you. This is the key difference. You do not lack devices. You lack the ability to make them work. A flashlight without batteries is useless. A radio without batteries cannot give you information. And in those moments, you do not need many things. You need the right thing at the right time. Preparing batteries is not about stockpiling. It is a simple way to ensure what you already have actually works. You do not need large quantities, just enough to maintain basic function for a few days. More importantly, you need to know where they are and whether they still work. A common mistake is that many people buy batteries but never check them. They sit too long, expire, or leak without notice. When needed, people think they are prepared, but in reality, have nothing usable. It only takes one moment when you need light, need information, or need a device to work. And it does not because of dead batteries. To understand the problem is not the device, the problem is something very small. But it determines whether everything works or not. 1. Headlamp. Many people think of candles when the power goes out. Wrong. You do not just need to see, you need to function. And that is when a headlamp becomes important. Light does not just help you see, it helps you maintain control of the situation. Imagine you are in the dark. You need to find things, clean up, fix something, or simply move safely. If you hold a flashlight, you only have one hand to work with. If you use a candle, the light is weak and unstable, and there is a fire risk. But when you wear a headlamp, the light follows your line of sight, and both hands are free. The issue is not whether you have light. The issue is what you can do in the dark. Someone with light but limited mobility is slower and more prone to mistakes. Someone with both hands free and stable light can handle situations faster and more safely. The difference is not the device, but how you use the light. That is why a headlamp is much more effective than other options. It gives you continuous light. No need to hold it. No need to set it down. And it always points where you are looking. You do not have to keep adjusting. You just wear it and work. The goal is clear. Help you function normally even without electricity. You can still find things, cook, repair, or move around without difficulty. When you maintain that, you maintain control. The real value is not in the lamp itself, but in avoiding disruption. While others struggle with weak light or limitations, you continue working as usual. That helps you avoid unnecessary mistakes and accidents. Preparation is simple. Keep it in an easy-to-access place. Check the batteries regularly and have spare batteries ready. Not a lot, but ready when needed. It only takes one time working in the dark to understand the difference. Light does not just help you see. Light helps you stay in control. You do not need to wait for a crisis to understand this. Just a small situation is enough. Your phone dies. You cannot pay, cannot call, do not know what is happening. Not because you do not have money or resources, but because you did not prepare for the things you assumed would always be there, and life does not collapse because of big things. It starts to fall apart from very small details. A nearly empty gas tank, a dead phone, a glass of water you are not sure is safe, a lighter you cannot find. Nothing sounds serious until you actually need it. The difference is not how much you have, but whether you get stopped when things start to go wrong. A calm person is not someone without problems, but someone who prepared before the problems happen. You do not need everything, but you need enough so you are not stuck. Because in the end, you do not lose control because of big things. You lose control because of the things you thought would always be there. And if you think you are prepared enough, there is still another group that goes much further. 10 survival foods that people who are truly prepared for survival almost never share online.